Hey guys, it's Zahid here, and we've been getting asked this question every single day when we go to see someone. They say, so what are your fees and what services do you provide? So many people that we go to see are first-time landlords, and they simply want a trustworthy voice to explain to them the process and the costs associated. Now, to help me answer this, I've got Nihal here today with me, and even though we're going to cover a lot of this in the video, I would highly recommend that you read the article below, as it covers all the fine details for those of you who want to know even further. So let's get started. So Nihal, what types of services do you offer then?
So we've got three levels of service. We've got let only, we've got rent collection, and then we've got the fully managed service. A key point to remember is with all three levels of service that we offer, there is a recurring theme. We do all the hard work finding the tenants, pre-qualifying them, referencing and all the necessary compliance prior to the signing of the documents and handover of keys. The rest is based on how much you want to get involved. I've given you a full breakdown of each of the background checks we do on each of the tenant in the article below.
Right, so what does a let-only service include then?
So with the let-only service, we endeavour to find long-standing tenants that will be as reliable as possible long-term. The main difference beyond that you as a landlord will be managing the property and its tenancy going forward. This service is ideal if you have previous property management experience, or if you've got a raft of time in your hands ready to learn. Prior to the tenants moving in, you can either conduct your own check-in inventory or ask us to do it. The software we use, however, in-house, creates a watertight document in case it ever needs to be used as evidence of condition.
Right, and what is the cost for it?
As a standard, the cost for this service is equivalent to 1 month's rent. For example, if your property has an agreed rent of £700 per calendar month, the fee for our let-only service is £700.
Right, and what is behind that cost?
Well, mainly you know that there's experts in the field that have done the hard work and the difficult process for you. Mainly, it allows peace of mind knowing experts in the field have done the hard work of conducting the viewings and followed through the legal procedures in place to tenant your property in the shortest time frame possible. We will have access to types of background checks and referencing that a normal member of the public doesn't have. Incredibly important when allowing someone to live in your asset. Amongst this, we undertake all the marketing, including listing on the popular portals such as Zoopla and on the market, to arrange and attend viewings, getting a good sense of their persona and character. Then, if necessary, negotiate to get the best deal for both the applicant and yourself, the landlord. Thoroughly reference and background check all adult occupiers, ensuring they're the right fit, minimizing any potential frustrations that might come up, together with collecting documents to ensure they are who they say they are and make sure everything adds up behind the scenes. We register the deposits with a deposit protection service so that there's an impartial body governing the tenancy throughout its term for any potential losses or damage. And to deal with compliance, that all legal criteria is met without a hitch, meaning alleviating many potential stresses and headaches from yourself.
Right, so you mentioned rent collection. What is that and how does it differ from let only?
So with rent collection, the initial stages is exactly the same as a let only. However, we at Abbey Property collect the rent from your tenants on a monthly basis, whilst you still manage and overlook the running tenancy. Benefit to using our rent collection service is that you can rest assured that we are on the ball collecting your rent in the unlikely instance that it's late. We will always chase it. It's not a great thing to think about, but if the unthinkable happens, such as having to evict your tenant due to arrears, we are on hand to help. As well as that, we'll record and maintain statements on income and expenditure for your convenience. It's all easily logged, so when it comes time to declaring your taxable income, it's readily available for your convenience.
Okay, and what is the price for that?
So for the rent collection package, it'd be on a basis of 9% monthly. This is in addition to the tenant find service we offer in the let-only package. When we handle the received rent, we will simply deduct 9% of a fee from the rent. The remainder will then be paid to you.
Right, and what is behind that cost?
Well, if you've got a busy lifestyle, for example, having this relaxed approach behind it means that we can undertake some of the hefty work behind. You'll also have a dedicated account handler to ensure your rent is in on time each time. And on the instance it isn't, we'll look to chase any arrears, continue to send notices and maintain keeping pressure on the tenant via legal avenues to pursue it further.
Right, and fully managed service, how does that differ from a let-only service and what does it include in that?
So fully managed service, think about it as if you went on holiday, an all-inclusive package. Just as I mentioned in the rent collection, you'll have a personalised, dedicated account handler to help you from start to finish as and when you need it. In addition to the services outlined in the let-only and rent collection packages that we offer, we also overlook the tenancy, maintaining contact with tenants and when necessary with contractors. This will only be on the off chance if remedial works need carrying out. Most landlords are busy with their own home or work schedules, and managing a property may not be at the forefront of your mind on a daily basis. This is where I sweep in and take the reins by taking that responsibility of the day-to-day off your shoulders. But rest assured, I will still also look to maintain contact with you, updating with changes or new news, or to seek authorization for any remedial works that are needing to be paid for. The lettings market is an ever-evolving life cycle. With regular changes to compliance and legal responsibilities, we will overlook these aspects to ensure you and your property are always on the clear.
Right, and what is behind that cost?
So as a standard, again, it's 100% of the first month's rent as our fee. From there onwards, it's 12% per month from the incoming rent. Being only marginally more expensive than our rent collection service, some find it easier to just let us lead the way forward. As I mentioned, you get a dedicated account handler to make sure everything is as smooth as possible. Breaking it down, it works out to as little as £2 to £3 a day to make sure you get a fully qualified and competent team that will handle any and every eventuality. We'll have you covered the whole way to deal with anything and everything needed on a day-to-day basis. Some landlords find peace of mind by opting for our rent guarantee insurance. This is at an additional cost and will naturally reflect as an increase in costs for yourself. It's a service that we can offer, so feel free to ask if you are interested. We've been operating since 2015 and conduct a cost versus benefit analysis continuously. The level of service we provide reflects our asking costs. However, there can be discussions where we can adapt our given service to suit your needs or your budget.
So everything that you mentioned so far up until this moment, is it possible to get it for cheaper elsewhere or even more expensive elsewhere?
So we aren't the cheapest, but neither are we the most expensive. We have a sweet spot which helps us to meet the values that our company represents. There are a good number of letting agents who are cheaper than us, but with cheap comes a lower level of service and a lower quality of experience. In order to cut costs, most companies will hire staff that aren't experienced enough or even qualified. In fact, this increases the risks for a landlord because they will have more headache tenants and rental defaults. Also, to remain cheap, many companies have to cut on their costs in terms of their marketing budget, which then reduces the exposure for the properties, which end up being less visible to the potential tenants. In reality, the only person this affects is the landlord. In turn, you'll end up getting a lower rental price. Or to remain cheap, many agents won't produce an inventory report, they won't invest in the best tools and softwares to benefit the landlord. All these factors make an impact on the rental price the landlord receives and how long the property sits empty. Then on the other hand, you have agents who offer a very high fee service, mostly because it's a corporate company or a very well-known brand, and very often you're sold extra services which you don't actually need, it's just there to bump up the price. For us, we sit in the middle, as we believe it's a fair value for our customers, but it's fair and financially feasible for us too, which helps us hire the most competent and qualified staff to deliver the right level of service and experience. This way it's a win-win for both the landlord and ourselves.
Right, anyone hearing this for the first time and all these different types of services that you're offering will think, wow, there's a lot to grasp here. What's the easiest and the best way for them to understand which service is best for them in their situation?
That's a very good question, however that deserves its own article, which is exactly what I've done. The link to that article is at the bottom of this one. For anyone who's unsure, then this article is perfect as it will clearly explain which service is best for you and why.
If somebody wants to know further details, what should they do next?
So read the article below. It's comprehensive, but it is to the point. It covers even more information than I've just mentioned. The great thing about the article is that it covers everything that I get asked on a day-to-day basis. And as you'll know so much already by the time I visit you, it'll ensure that you're fully informed and we can start working together. Also at the bottom of this article is a PDF copy of our terms and conditions. We're really transparent as a company and we welcome you to have a read before we come out to meet you.
Thank you so much, Nihal, for all the information that you shared today. It's been really beneficial information. I'm sure it's added a lot of benefit to the viewers that we have. So what is the next step from here then? What should someone do who is keen to work with you and use your wealth of knowledge to find and manage a suitable tenant and minimize any headache or default on any rents?
Really simple. You can get in touch with us with any of the links shown at the bottom of the article. It even allows you to do it online by selecting a time and date suitable for you. Once you've completed it, either myself or one of our experienced members will be out to meet you at your chosen time.
We hope this video and the article has covered everything that you need to know, but should you still have a question, then get in touch with this very friendly and helpful bunch. And do you want to say that or do you not?
Let's not say it. So our fully managed service means you've got the full shebang.